So as you guys can see, we've figured out the root cause of the problem. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and yes, we are taking the Raptor in for regular servicing today, but we also gonna have an issue with the Raptor, so we're gonna get that checked out. I'll go over the issue first, and then we're gonna head down, obviously see what it actually is, and yeah, let's just get right into it. I will give you guys a cold start up like usual, so you can hear the course exhaust, which sounds amazing, but first off, we've got to go over the issue. So it's around front, other than the truck being dirty, which it's not really an issue, but here is, wait for it, the issue. So you guys can see that puddle right down there. Definitely oil for sure. And the other thing is the front end is rattling like crazy. It's coming from that same general area. So yeah, pretty sure it's all associated. Obviously we're getting it checked out before anything crazy happens, but I'm also due for regular servicing anyways. But yeah, I left the truck in the same place, and now the driveway is stained with oil, which is okay. But let me give you guys my at least thought process on this. So on the oil side of things, honestly, I'm not sure what that is. I'm guessing that potentially like a rock or something punctured a tank, which would really suck. But that's like the only thing that I can really guess on that part of it. I'm not 100% on that. So that one, I'm really confident in talking about. The thing I am confident in talking about is the rattling in the front end. I think it's the sway bar link got loose or something like that, because it happened with my Ram Rebel, and the Raptor is making the same exact sound. I can't really capture it on camera. It's not loud enough, and it's not like consistent enough for it to really be capturable via audio, but it's making the same rattling sound that my Rebel did, and so I'm thinking it's the sway bar link. The oil, I can't explain though, so maybe it's something else that I'm just not thinking of, but that's my guess at least, and I guess we'll just have to see what it actually is. Mwahaha. So I know a lot of people are going to say that this is a product of me jumping the Raptor, and it's actually not. I know exactly why this happened. It's kind of embarrassing, and that's why I think something got punctured. I didn't want to mention it because I don't want to devalue my truck more, but I've got to be honest with you guys. So after I filmed that whole jumping video, everything was going fine, and then I went up this hill and I couldn't see over the top of the hill, which this is me just being stupid, but I just kept going, and someone decided to put like a fire pit with a bunch of like wooden stakes and all this other weird stuff at the top of the hill directly where you'd have to drive over, and I was going a little bit too fast to stop in time, and well, let's just say I plowed right through it. The front end of the Raptor is completely fine. There's no scratches or anything. But right after that, then the Raptor started rattling. And obviously I have the oil leaking now. So it didn't happen from jumping. It happened from me running over something, which is stupid, but it's reality. And let's head out before I make myself look more stupid. I don't know if you guys can hear, but it's making the sound right now. So hopefully that was captured through audio so you guys can kind of understand what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's pretty loud and obnoxious. Well, we are on the highway, and don't worry guys, I'm using adaptive cruise control, so it's just following this here Toyota Tundra, but it's not making the noise anymore on the highway. Hopefully nothing fell off the truck, but nothing's happening weird, like the truck's steering fine, it's not pulling to one way or the other, so I don't think it's going to be a big issue. Crossing my fingers, hoping it's just something minor, but I mean the truck still drives fine, so other than it leaking oil, everything seems to be a-okay. This is completely unrelated to the video, but I've just kind of noticed that the mining here in Utah has expanded quite a bit, and if you guys don't know, a lot of the quote-unquote mountains here in Utah are made out of sand. They're basically just giant sand hills, and so obviously there's a lot of mining purposes for that. But the thing that's crazy to me is you've got these huge mining operations, and then you have, right there you guys can see, a massive housing complex on the same sand hill that they're mining out of, and on top of that, Utah's very prone to having earthquakes. What could ever go wrong? Well, we're here at the Ford store to see what happens, and by the way, those blacked out F-150s look so good. Ooh, probably my favorite 2020 package, other than the Raptor. Definitely a good looking truck. So as you guys can see, we've figured out the root cause of the problem, and well, we snapped the axle on this side, so yeah, definitely have to be fixed. Not gonna be able to drive the Raptor for a while, but that is absolutely crazy to see that, and that's why all the oil is leaking out. I've got the truck lifted up so you guys can see this a little bit better, but if you guys can kind of come under here, this is literally able to just move backwards and forwards. And yes, it's got my hands dirty for you, but all of that is broken. Gonna have to get it all fixed, and then the Raptor will be 100% again. Well, now we are waiting for an Uber, black Hyundai Sonata, and I'm gonna have to drive the Camaro for a while the Raptor is getting fixed. Need to get new tires now. So I've said I'm probably gonna finish today's video tomorrow, but yes, this does mean I'm gonna have to be daily driving the ZL1 1LE. And speaking of that, I got sort of an update on my Corvette. I'm gonna get like a better update on Friday or maybe Monday next week. But if it's gonna be pretty far out for like, once they give me like the final update of when it's gonna come in, I decided that I'm probably going to replace this with another car for the channel because I want to do something new content-wise, and then I want something that's a little bit nicer for a daily driver because, well, I need something comfortable to drive when my Raptor has snapped axles. So, see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Obviously, this is kind of like the second part of the video, and we actually have some big news regarding the Camaro. So I actually did get an offer on the Camaro, and it's actually something that's really hard for me to refuse. So if you aren't familiar with my channel, I bought this Camaro ZL1 1LE. It's a 2019. I bought it with about 500 miles on it back at the end of March, and I got a really good deal on this from the Ford store in Provo. It's Larry H. Miller, Ford Lincoln in Provo. They sold me my Raptor, and then also they found this car for me, which was really awesome. Huge shout out to John for doing that. But in terms of what I paid for the car, I paid $53,500 for the car back in March. And then I made an update video saying that I was going to be selling this car, and I got a bid on it from a dealer, and the dealership said that I should be asking at least $57,000, if not $58,000 to $59,000 for the car. So obviously I told you guys about that, and I got a couple offers, but it seems like nothing was super serious because everything just kind of dropped off. And so then I got into this position where I was like, okay, am I going to keep the car for until I get the next car, or am I just going to sell it to someone? And it kind of like got into like a limbo sort of situation. Now fast forward to today, and I reached back out to my friend. So it's been a month since I got his last bid, and I asked him, instead of a retail bid, to bid this as if he was trading it in on another car. And the trade-in bid that I got was between $54,000 to $56,000 on the car, just depending on the exact condition of everything. And so obviously that's just as a trade-in more than what I paid for the car, and so it's kind of like I can basically break even on the car, or maybe even make a little bit. Well, actually, I'm already making any money because $54,000 is $500 more than I paid for the car. So either way, I'm making a little bit of money, so I'm getting a little bit of ahead, and then obviously I can trade it in on another car, and it's pretty much like a wash for me, is what I see it as. Now, I know the big question mark in everyone's mind is, well, what would be cool enough to be able to trade this in on? Because obviously you guys know the whole like limbo with my C8 Corvette order, and I will just tell you right away, it's not the C8 Corvette. That's still like, I don't know where that is. I still haven't gotten really any updates from Chevy, which kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. However, there's another car that was released kind of, well, yeah, it's released in the 2021 model year, so it's a 2021, and they've made some really cool updates to it, so it has more power, it drives better, and I think that it would be like just a cool car to have for the channel for a little bit until I get the C8, because I'm still planning on getting the C8. So I want you guys to guess what the car is. You guys will probably be able to guess pretty easy, but yeah, that's most likely what's gonna happen. And the cool part is it's actually less expensive than the Camaro. So not only will I be breaking even on the Camaro, making just a slight amount of money, but I will actually be saving myself a little bit of money by going for this other car because it's less money. There's a pretty good potential. This is one of the last cold startups of the Camaro. Pretty good potential for this. Still sounds really good. So the more that I think about it, the more I realize I'm probably going to be like completely ridiculed for this vehicle decision if I end up doing this, which I'm like 99% of the way there, to be honest. But at the same time, like, I understand the Camaro is awesome. Like, this is one of the best bargains that you can get right now. 650 horsepower for about 50 grand or less. And the 1LE package, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. It's such a good handling car. I mean, this literally has supercar performance. 7 minutes, 16 seconds on the Nürburgring. It's faster than a Lamborghini Huracan around the Nürburgring, just to give you guys an idea. But at the same time, it's so track focused that it's kind of hard to enjoy when you're driving it. It's so low to the ground that it scrapes on everything, which, I mean, boo-hoo, but it's kind of annoying. It's super rough with the ride, again, boo-hoo, but I want something that I can daily drive, because my biggest disappointment about this car, and sorry about the stutter, but is the fact that I only have 2,200 miles on it. So I bought this with obviously 500 miles on it, but I wish I would have like 5,000 or 6,000 miles on it, but it's so uncomfortable that like I literally don't want to drive it. I prefer to drive my Raptor, and so I'm looking to get a sports car, muscle car, super car, whatever car. I want something that's like just a little bit more comfortable that I can drive on a regular basis so I can actually enjoy the car, because you know, whether it's $50,000 or $100,000, if I'm gonna spend the money, I wanna be able to drive it, and this particular car, it's kind of hard to do that. And I know that's like the dumbest complaint ever, and again, I'm gonna get ridiculed, but it's just how I feel. Like, just to give you guys kind of an idea of how annoying this is, so you guys can see right here, hopefully on the road, it's relatively flat. However, because it slants up a little bit because it's uphill, I have to go over this at like 3 miles an hour, literally stop everyone behind me just to get through it with the Camaro because it's so low to the ground. It's just like little things like that that are a little bit annoying that make me want a car that's just a little bit more friendly from a daily driver perspective. But even with all the complaints I have, the car still does this, which is kind of fun. Crazy acceleration. Again, it's so much fun with how fast it is and with how well it handles. And yeah. And again, like I said, don't get me wrong, I love this car so much because everything about it is just so fun. Like right now, we're just chilling here and we're at an undisclosed location. It's so crazy fast. It literally is like supercar fast, and that's why I love it. And those downshifts, every single time, the downshifts sound amazing, but going through this, super hard, didn't quite bottom out, almost did. But yeah, like it sounds amazing, supercar performance. It's just so focused. It's such a focused car that it's really only good at track driving and really only good at like just driving fast. And when you're not doing that, the car kind of falls apart. Sorry about that being a little bit jumbled, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, this car is really sweet. Like I said, it's such a bargain for what it is, but I would just rather have something that I feel a little bit more comfortable with driving on a daily basis from like the ride quality perspective, and then also just from like the usability. Like, again, it's so aggressive, so low to the ground. It's hard to daily drive this, and I'd rather have something that I could drive every single day, have fun with it every single day, than have a crazy race car, even though this, seriously, it's awesome. But that's the reason why I love the C8 and the idea of the C8, because apparently it's really good like a daily driver, but then it's also crazy with performance and all that, and so it'll be the best of both worlds. But then this also like in-between car, if we end up doing this, would also be pretty cool. And then the last thing I will say in today's video is with the Raptor, I still don't have an update on the axle. Basically, just gonna have to get a new one shipped in and then get it put in. So again, crazy situation, but I use my truck, I use it what it's meant to be used for, so that's all I have to say on that. If you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you think, and I will see all of you in the next video. What was the first thing you said when you got in the car?
It's a BMW in here.